Did you know that it's possible to have your child play independently each day for a period of time? That means that your child is playing alone, and that means that you have time to do things without your child right there. It is possible, it's not that hard, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to make this happen. Welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Valerie. I like to talk about all things parenting, how to help you love being a parent. And there are lots of little things that help make that better, like having good sleep. So that's a big thing I focus on. But today we are talking about playtime. Before we get started, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel so that you are made aware of all future videos. Independent playtime is just one of my very favorite elements to any smooth day. You will love it, and I'm so excited to share it with you and help you get started on this. So what is independent playtime? It's simply a time when your child plays alone, independently. And that sounds like a Webster's definition, but so let's get a little deeper into that. What it means is that your child plays at a time that you designate and in a place that you designate. And sometimes you even designate the toys played with. Now, when people hear like the parent decides, not the child, they can feel like, well, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You're the adult, you know better. And because you are an adult who knows better, you can take into account lots of factors. It's not that you just say like, well, I have decided that I would really like this to happen at 3 p.m. every day, and so that's when it's going to happen, even though that's when my child's napping. No, of course, you are going to think through, you are a loving parent. You're going to think through all of the factors and think, what time of day is best for my child? Where is the best place for my child to play? And what things would my child love to play with? You are a loving, rational parent who has a lot of life experience, and you are here to guide your child through life. So you decide these things because you're an adult and you know better. There are a lot of benefits to independent playtime. Let's talk about a few. There are a lot of things your child is going to develop, a lot of skills your child's going to develop when he plays alone, rather than always being surrounded and entertained by parents, siblings, and friends. If your child is required to have time alone each day, there will be skills that will be developed that are uniquely developed in that situation, or at the very least, developed much more quickly in that situation. One skill is mental focusing skills. So being alone, you have to focus on what's right in front of you. You're not being entertained. You have to focus in and entertain yourself, which leads to being able to self-entertain, being okay with your own company, not requiring external forces for you to be content. And doesn't that sound like a wonderful skill to have? Your child will also develop a sustained attention span, the ability to pay attention to something longer, because your child's not getting distracted. Your child can really focus in. Your child will learn to be more creative, to be a problem solver. There are also skills like fine motor skills and gross motor skills that will be developed because your child will not have anyone there to say, oh, you're struggling with that toy, let me help you out. Your child will have to figure it out, and by doing so, will develop those skills. And those are some benefits for the child, but there are benefits for the parents too. This gives you some time each day where you can sit down and do nothing, where you can sit down and with some silence, where you can clean, where you can do things that are noisy that you might not want to do during a nap, but you can and also don't want to do with your child with you, but you're able to do while your child's awake, safely playing somewhere. You can read a book. There's so many things that you can do with that time that can be of benefit to you and your family. Let's talk about how this looks at different ages. Now, no matter the age of your child while you're watching this, you can make this work. So I'm going to start with newborn, but don't think, I have a 2-year-old, this can never work for me. It can. but we're going to start with newborn and work our way forward. I really like to start with a newborn. I didn't with my oldest, but I found that when I started with a newborn, we were able to more seamlessly transition into independent play as they got older. So with a newborn, this simply looked like me putting my newborn baby down to play on a blanket or at the activity gym, and I would be right there. Newborns can't see very far, so you can be super close and your newborn not know you're there unless you're like right in your baby's face or talking to your baby and making noise. So I'd put my baby down to play and I would be out of eye shot, and I would just simply sit and watch my baby play, but not interfere or get in baby's face. I would just let the baby sit for 5 to 10 minutes and play without me being in the baby's face. So it just got the baby used to from the very beginning of life that it's okay to be alone at times. It's not a problem, and you can play without being entertained. For your newborn, you want to play 5 to 10 minutes at a time, once or twice a day. As your baby gets older and moves out of newborn life into baby life, so around 3 to 4 months old, you start to change things a little bit. Eventually, you want your baby having this independent time in a playpen because that is the safest place for your baby to be alone. So, as your baby hits 3 months old, start having independent playtime a few times a week in the playpen. So you'll set your baby in the playpen with maybe a mirror next to baby or a couple of toys for baby to look at and reach for. The other days, when you're not doing the playpen, you can still do the activity gym. Be aware as your baby gets older, your baby can see further, so you'll need to be more out of eyesight. Before your baby in this stage, go for 10 to 20 minutes, once or twice a day. Once your baby is able to get to toys alone without you placing them in baby's hands so baby could reach for toys, then you can change things up. Playpen every day for independent play. Playtime can last 15 to 30 minutes once or twice a day, and you want to leave baby in the room alone in the playpen. It's really unfair to have your baby see you and expect your baby to play independently. So it's best for your baby not to be able to see you so that your baby will work on all those benefit skills that we talked about at the beginning. Of course, you always want to monitor your baby and stay within earshot. Maybe have a video monitor if you have one, or an audio monitor if you need one. Make sure you can hear your baby so you can be there if your baby needs you. As your baby gets older and can crawl, you can increase the length of playtime. You can increase it to 30 to 45 minutes once or twice a day. For the pre-toddler, your pre-toddler is 12 to 18-month-old range. Ideally, you are still in a playpen. A pre-toddler can play for up to 60 minutes once or twice a day independently. Typically, if you're going to do 60 minutes in one chunk, I would say do it once a day. If you need to break it up, you could do 2 30-minute segments. A really helpful tip for making independent playtime work really well is to have some music if your child likes music, and make sure you rotate the toys and the books frequently so it's not the same thing every single day all the time. As your child moves into toddler, so around 18 months, you can start to think about moving out of the playpen and into a room. Not all toddlers at 18 months are ready for that. Some like it closer to 2 years old. I actually had one child who did not like being in the room. She liked the playpen better until she got older. As you move to room time, you want to keep it safe. I do have a post on my blog, babywisemom.com, all about how to make the room safe. Make sure it's child-proofed and safe for your child to play in a room independently. So with the toddler and preschooler years, you can go up to 90 minutes for independent play. You might keep it at 60, that's fine. But you can go anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. Let's talk about some tips for success. The first thing is to be consistent, and if you've watched many of my videos, you know I use the word consistent a lot. It's super important in parenting. Consistency is vital, whether it's schedules or sleep or playtime. So be consistent. Pick a time of day for your child to play that you know almost every day of the week you can have independent play that day. For me, I found that was mornings. So we'd get up, have breakfast, and then have independent play in that first wake time playtime, because we were always home in the morning. For you, that might be afternoon. For you, that might be closer to lunchtime. Whatever works, whatever makes sense for your schedule. There's no right or wrong in general. It's just what's right or wrong for your family. And if we're picking a time we can be consistent, that also means we need to be consistent. So make sure you work that into your schedule. When children know this is part of my day every day, then it is the day. It's fine. Another tip is with toys. Make sure the toys are age appropriate. Make sure you rotate what toys you offer your child at independent play, and make sure you rotate books. So you might keep the same toys and books as options for a few days and then rotate it. You might each day change out one of the options of toys. Just see what kind of works for your child. Keep things fresh. We all get bored if it's the same thing all the time. So rotating toys is always a great way to keep children engaged and excited about playtime. Another tip is to monitor your child. Make sure you know that things are safe, your child's doing well, make sure you can hear. I wouldn't hop in the shower during independent playtime because I wanted to be able to hear and respond immediately if there was a need from my child. If you are starting out later in your child's life, not as a newborn, not as a really young baby, then you might need to start with just 5 to 10 minutes at a time, no matter the age, and work up from there. If your child is happy with it and doesn't protest at all, you can start with 10 to 15, maybe even 20 minutes at a time, and just slowly work up to the appropriate amount of time for your child's age from there. If you are starting late, I do have a post all about starting late. I started late with my oldest child, and so I have a lot of tips and real life experience to walk you through how to start late successfully. I mentioned this earlier, but having music is a great thing to do. You can even do books on tape or audiobooks. We did that with our children. They loved to listen to stories while they were playing. They loved to have fun toddler tunes on while they were playing. So that kind of thing can really help make it enjoyable and bring another dimension to what they're learning during playtime. A timer can be super helpful. I love a timer in many aspects of parenting, but in this independent playtime, it really helps. You can set a timer in the child's room or right outside of the child's room so they can hear it go off. When you use a timer, then they know the timer is what determines when independent playtime ends. It's not if I'm crying or if I call out or if I scream. It's, oh, timer went off, now it's time to end. And that really helps them learn to just accept and be content in that time playing. I also highly recommend that you have your baby help clean up at the end, or child or toddler, whatever the age of your child. Find a way for them to help clean up, even if you just clean up with the baby sitting there who isn't capable of cleaning up yet at all. And just, oh, this is so great to clean up. Thank you for helping. Thank you for being here. And be really positive. That can really help establish the habit of cleaning when you're done. And you're really giving a lot of positive reinforcement to this picking up when we're done playing with things. And speaking of positive reinforcement, when you start, be excited. Even if your child's acting sad, you don't want to say, oh, I'm so sorry, it'll be okay, you'll like it. But instead say, all right, have so much fun, it's going to be a great time. And then when you go into your child, no matter your child's mood, like, did you have a fun play time? Oh, this is so great. Well, what a great time, how lucky you are. Really be positive with it. It's like marketing. If your child doesn't love it immediately, you are trying to sell it to your child, and your child will love it. I promise. I've had a child who did not like it. In the end, he loved it, but it took some time. So it will be a great thing. It's something that we use even now with older kids once they're in school all day, like once we're home for summer. We like to have it as a time for everyone to get a break from each other, time alone. Sometimes we use it on weekends. Sometimes people just need breaks. They just need time alone. So even when kids are in school full time, we still utilize it to this day. If you have more questions, if you'd like to see more videos on this topic, let me know in the comments. That wraps up these basics on independent play. I do have a lot of posts on my blog on independent playtime, so be sure to check those out. I have posts on the best toys. I have posts on what to do if your child refuses to stay in their room for room time, what to do if your child insists on making a huge mess. so many different aspects. I have a lot of posts, so you can get a lot more information on the blog, babywisemom.com. Again, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.